What's up, guys? Welcome back to another action-packed episode of AC Designs Garage. And today I'm going to call it a fan favorite, I guess. This is what you guys want to see. Y'all been asking about it for a while, so let's get spunked around and show you the surprise. We are doing a video today for you guys that y'all been asking about. Rust repair. A lot of you guys been asking about old patches here, the 1965 C10. Well, this is the other fender. Now, a year or so ago, I done a repair on this fender that we still got to do the match patina. Drop down below if you guys want to see how to do the matching patina, because if you want to keep the looks of this patina stuff and you got rust repair or you buy a new fender, which you can do that, you're going to have to figure out how to match it and get it as close as you can without it looking like you matched it. And I think it's a little art in itself. A lot of people hates this fake patina, but I mean, it's matching it. It's trying to make it look like one thing. I know some of you guys are like, why don't you just paint it? Well, some people likes it like this. So I will say that painted cars are stressful, especially when you put hundreds of hours in them, and they're just hard to enjoy. Somebody's going to lean against it. Somebody's going to set a drink on top of it while you're standing there, and don't ask me how I know. And just all this stuff. Patina trucks are fun. You can whip them around. You can do all kind of tire smoky things with them. And you ain't got to worry about them. Then you can go to Lowe's and throw you some plywood in the back if you want to. I mean, it's a usable truck. Anyway, I'll get off that tangent. Passenger side front fender off of old patches. And we're going to put some patches in it. That's how it got its name. You can kind of analyze what the problem is from the outside, which is actually the backside. There's a brace. There's that shape right there that runs up through there, and stuff gets packed in behind there and it rusts from the inside out. So one thing we're going to go over is how big a patch do you cut? Do you cut it off up here? Do you cut just right here where there's a little hole right there? Let me get my flashy light so I can show you. Holes. This is a fixable fender, guys, but I'm going to tell you right now, no more than stuff costs. And some of us don't have the money. That's why I'm fixing this one. I don't have the money to buy them. AMD, Automail Direct, sells nice stuff. Not sponsored by them, but that's all I usually use because it works and it fits good. It's not too bad price, but it's quality and it fits pretty good. That's the big thing. And a lot of guys are going to comment on here because what I'm using is 19 gauge. That's what they were from the factory, guys. Look it up. Those... Very rarely would you find one that's 18. We'll cut this one out, but you can't really mic it because it's rusted. But these things were mostly 19 gauge. I don't know why people have this concept that these things were made out of 1/4-inch plate steel. Oh, the old cars, they were so much thicker. They 19 gauge. Most of your new cars are 2021. Some of them now are getting pretty close to 22, but the old stuff is still fairly thin. I mean, you can warp this stuff, and I'm going to show you how to combat that. I'm going to tell you what causes warp. We're going to go into it. This is going to be a deep dive into this. This is not going to be a little 10-minute video. I'm going to try to go in deep and give you all the tips and tricks where you can walk right out to your shop or out in your backyard and you can fix them holes on your fender. So let's get at it. All right, guys, quickly, I just flipped the fender over. I wanted you to see, and here's that brace I was talking about behind the fender. And that's basically your rust line on the front. And you can see here it's pitted. But everything on the outside of this brace is good. So we're not going to cut any more than we have to. We'll probably go, I like to say, 1 inch or so on the outside of the bad stuff. So we'll probably come down in this area here. All right, now that we flipped it over, you look at it, you can see the shape of the little thing. And you can feel under here. And about right in here is the edge of where that pitting was we saw that we said we're going to go on the outside of. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to preserve this patina as good as I can. I'm taking pictures of it if we need to replicate it or something, but this is a little on the rougher end of patina, if you want to call it. This ain't that sun-baked Arizona, California, Texas, gorgeous patina. This is in the South, North Carolina. It rains a lot and it's humid here, patina. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the old Sharpay and I'm going to feel back under here. I got my finger, so about, I'm gonna say yay, about up in here. We're gonna, let's see, make sure none of that feels bad. Yep, we'll probably go, do we wanna, yeah, we'll cut it out this far. Don't worry, guys, I'm just talking to myself. Do that a lot. That's how I make my living. Alright, so we're gonna probably make this in 2 pieces because we're gonna do the bottom. So I'm just gonna come on right here on this peak, and we're gonna cut dead on top of that peak because it's easier to weld on top of a peak. Now in a ditch like this, they're not as easy to weld to. So we're gonna have to form this, and I'm gonna show you guys how to do that. Super simple. You can do it with a hammer and a little sandbag or something like that, and we just get it closed because we are gonna put body filler over this. So that's gonna be our general cut vicinity. Now when you cut through this, this is lapped over, this is hemmed or whatever they call it, where it laps over like that. You don't want to cut through both of them. We're cutting through the top layer here only, so we'll kind of sneak up on that. If you do cut all the way through the back, you can weld it, because right here we probably will, because of the way that is. Anyhow, but yeah, just try to cut through the first layer there and here, and we're gonna have to do the same thing here. It's a double layered. Let's transfer some measurements over onto our 19 gauge stock here, and before y'all reach in here and start laying out cut lines, start cutting this, don't cut it yet. You're like, why you're not cutting it yet? I'll tell you why. Because you want to shape your panel first. This is a buck, basically. This makes a good buck right here. And so we're going to shape our panel, and I'm going to grind some of this down here in a second to where to lay good. But we're going to use this as the buck. So we'll shape our panel, bend it. You'll probably use the old knee English wheel here, or upper thigh English wheel, and we'll get the radius, because it's got a, if you look at it here, it's got a slight radius. It's not compound, it's pretty flat. It just has a slight radius here, then it rolls back here, kind of like a little reverse to it. But that's no biggie. I'll show you how to do that. But yeah, that's about a upper thigh shape there. We're going to basically, I'm going to cut a panel. I'm going to pull the measurements of my layout, rough layout lines. We'll make it a little bigger than what it is. Usually a 1/2 inch bigger. And I'll show you that. And we're going to shape it and just keep laying it on there until it lays on there nicely, that you don't have to press it down or nothing like that to get it to fit. You just want it to kind of sit like a cap right there on top of it. Then what we're going to do is we're going to scribe it. We're not putting gaps. Don't get all mad, because a lot of guys get mad. You got to have gaps for penetration. No, you don't. You got your welder set right? No, you don't. You don't want any gaps, because that gives room for warpage, and it makes it hard to hammer and dolly. And anyways, all right, let's get it cut out. All right, basically the way we're going to do this, I'm going to let my tape measure hang over a 1/2 inch over here. So it's on the 1/2 inch mark on the edge. So that gives us a 1/2 inch of extra. And it's on about 6 here at the line. So we're going to go 6 1/2. Do the same up here, let it hang over 1/2 inch. Push it down in the old crevasse down there. And it's about 8 1/2, so we're gonna go 6 1/2 by 9. Let me write that down before I forget. 6.5 by 9 inches. So that's what size we're gonna lay out here. So we're gonna go up here 9 inches. Remember, we got us a 1/2 inch buffer here. We're gonna go 6 1/2. That's 9, and get me straight edge. We'll mark here at 6 1/2. Straight edge here. 6 1/2 by 9. Okay, guys, I'm gonna try to keep this in a timely fashion. Like I was saying, you can use tin snips. These work great. You can get them at any home improvement stores. I like them. I use them a lot. But I'm trying to get this video done fairly quick. I have a stomp shear. I've done it a long time without one. All you do is put it right there on the edge. Then you step down on the thing here. And you go. Then you try to find it. Yes, these things are nice. Do you need one? No. If you do as much as I do, yeah. You can see how much my squares of my line was off. These things cut perfect. that don't really matter for what we're doing. So I'm gonna come back over here and I'm gonna ka-chow it one more time. Get it lined up on the edge. That down. Then ka-chow. We might need that. Our other piece. There she is. Now, I will say these things are nice. One benefit to these is it keeps it flat. That's the big thing, which it don't really matter because I'm gonna bend it over my knee anyways. But you can do that. You can use the wheel of death. You can use it on a dewalt grinder. You can, like I said, hand shear. Hand shears work really good, especially for fine detailing. They're not that expensive, guys. You can get one. All right, we got our piece here. And you're like, bam, that's done, welded in. But you see the difference in it. So what we got to do is, what we're gonna do first is we're gonna get our roll first before we put this little line in it. So I'm gonna slide this up and get this radius here and just have this, our nice little radii. Let me show you. Buddy Andrew made this for me a long time ago. It's a radius gauge. If you can see it, it's all, yeah. He had it etched and everything on my old logo. It looks like a Cadillac V. So we're gonna see what the radii is on this thing here. So this goes from a 1.5 to a 36-inch radius. Would y'all be interested in any of these on the old AC Design Garage website? 24. That's what it is, guys. Look at that. So that's a 24-inch radius right there. Y'all don't need to know that at home. I was just wanting to show you how these little gauges work. And it works good because you can bend it over your knee. I'm going to leave it out here anyway. You can bend it over your knee and then set it on it. And instead of laying it back on here 100 times. I'm going to break out the old power thigh hammer here and give her a little bent over. And this is not rocket science, guys. Don't think you got to have the stump shear. Better tools just makes life easier and faster. I was in rust repair. That's why I have a stump shear. Do you need one? No. Do you probably want one? If you do this a lot, you do. Anyhow, I'm gonna show you how I do stuff with my fancy tools. All you're gonna need is a 5-gallon bucket to prop your foot on. Make sure you got it lined up square because it's just the even. So we're gonna start this end and just give it a little bit of wee. Just want a good nice raise. Now that's probably too much. Like I said, don't do a whole lot at one time. Now we're gonna take it and just also, that's too much, but mark the top. Just put a T up there so you know, so you're bending and everything lays up. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take a little of this out. Take a little more out. It's not a whole lot. See, we're having to push down on it. You want this thing to lay down nicely on there. So we're gonna take a little more out. A little bit is touching up here. There's a gap in the middle, so you know your ends are down too far, so you're gonna grab it in the middle. Roll them things up. That's just laying on there, so we're gonna get our, like I said, you don't need this either. It's just a way for me to, that's the only problem bending it by hand. See, it's high, it's touching right here, it's right there. So I need to take that out, but it's pretty close. So we're gonna put it over here on the table. Sometimes you can just hit the end. They give it a little more gradual touch than. That's pretty good there, guys. I mean, it's laying pretty nicely. You can see right there. Have to roll that in. Just that. Got a little tweak when I was hitting on it. Look at that. See, it fits that radii really good. It's touching right there. Just give it a little more. And that's what you want, guys. Now, I ain't worried with this down here. See how it's sticking off, because this panel lock goes all the way down to here. But we just got to get that radius right there. That looks pretty good. See? No fancy tools used, just the God-given tools that God give you. use them. They're free. You got them. You take them everywhere you go. At least I hope you do. Alrighty. Now, yeah, guys, if you'd like one of these radius gauges here, just let me know. I'll see if Buddy Andrew, if he still got the file to it, we'll draw them and put them on there. But it just makes it easy to come down here and look and say, look at here, I got a 24-inch radius. But he designed, come up with this one. That's pretty cool. You can hang it on your walls, mass stainless steel. All right, now we got to figure out the body line. And this is the part where people get a little scared. So, what we got to do is I'm going to find the deepest part of this. And you can just, I mean, it'll just run. I think I'm going to do a pencil. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pencil and put in the deepest part of this crevasse, right there at the V. I'm going to try to find the center of it. What you do is you put your pointer, your pencil in there, and you lay it down, and you take your middle finger, index finger. This works kind of like pinstripe, and you're going to use this as a guide. You're going to run this along the bottom of that, and this is going to stay in the middle. And it kind of helps you keep a... We're going to come over here, and I can mark this with Sharpie so y'all can see it. This is going to be the center of that crack. There's my line. I'm just going to line this up right here. That's about the center up there. So we're going to try to connect these dots in a radius, and maybe I need to make me a paper pattern of that radius, because we know where this is the center line of that, and that's the center line of that roughly. Let's make a template of that little thing so we can just lay it on here and get the right radius. Where we need to hammer the little thingy. So I just got me a piece of paper here. Easily you could take your dirty fingers and just do that right there. But I can see my pencil mark in there. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to see the pencil mark. We're going to set it up like we had it. Yeah, it landed right up on it. So now we have our body line thingy. So this is the low point of the ditch, whatever you want to call it. Trying to do some arts and crafts. And this is just rough, guys. This ain't we're not rolling a bead roll or nothing in it. So now, roughly you can see we're going to put that at that and line that up with that one. You know, my paper's not long enough. It does have sticky on it, that's good. I'm going to do that. So I'm going to use dotted lines to know this is where our little body line thing is. That's a simple way to get that. These are nice, these magnets here. They have the little switch on them, they'll slide around, then you cut the switch on, they won't move nowhere. I like them. So now, we got to put this little divot in here. Alright, I'm going to show you how we're going to caveman do this. Okay, this is a poor man's shop bag. This is a leather glove with sand in it. And I just hose clamped the end of it and put some tape on it. You need something to kind of, about got too much in here. Need something to kind of support it, but you won't want to stretch it. You don't want to do it on the table because it'll stretch it too much. So basically what we're going to do is, it's going to be a little hard because this thing is not quite big enough, but I got a real shop bag. Going to show you how I would do it if you didn't. Okay. Either get a cold chisel and round end. You don't want this thing sharp. You just want a nice round radius. I got a little wedge here. This is what I use sometimes. And we'll just go through here and we're just going to chisel this into it and get it started through the break here. I'll show you. We'll go up here, get this corner chiseled down. You ain't got to do a whole lot. Just kind of work it around on your dotted line. I think the official name for this tool would be a corking tool if you was a metal worker. Mike Wagner at Cornfield makes some nice ones. I need to get one. We're just going down through there. Not hogging on it, just putting a nice gentle hit. Because it don't have to be very big. Keep it good and flat. I'll get this up here again at the end. What I'm doing is tapping and pulling at the same time. You got a nice little break here, and you can come tune it up on what I call the Nike dolly. Kind of looks like a Nike emblem. Anyways, come down here and find the shape of it right there. You don't want too much race. That looks pretty good right in there. Alright, let's check her out. It's slow progress on this stuff, guys. That's not bad. We're moving up on her pretty quick. See how sharp that bend is in it? We need to put a little more radius in that. I was trying to find something that I could use as a stamp. Old speed handle here, you know, used to before the impact days and stuff. So what I'm basically going to use is this radius on here, or use the end of it down here, just to widen what radius we got. Yes, I know this looks hillbilly, and it is. And basically you're just going to run it down through your crevasse there, and you're using this radius as the hammer, and therefore it should put that radius in it. I'll keep moving this up on our... See if that worked. Yeah, it goes a little more faint radius there. See how she fits. What you have to do when you're hammering out like this, it's going to get it back out of whack and stuff, so you're going to have to go back. What in the world was I doing? Oh, you guys are going to have to, I don't know. Y'all going to have to look after me because I'm losing my mind. I'm trying to fit it back here, and I'm like, why isn't that working? Because it ain't in the right place, you big dummy. And what you can do, guys, is you can come back down here and look down through here, and you can tell that needs to be deeper. And you can do this. See, that's not touching up there, so we need to roll that a little more. But down in here, all that's touching until you get back here. So we got to put a little more radii down right through here. And you can make reference marks. Because if you're like me, you can't think. You need to put a little bend because she's rocking on me. That's why you've got your line up here. You can always line up the same place. From probably, I'll say about right here back. Needs to be a little deeper. So let's do that. So what I'm going to do probably is I'm going to take the old ball peen here. This is a pretty decent one I bought years ago. So I'm going to run it down there like this, and I'm just going to pull this. The hammer stays in the same place. I'm just going to be sitting here doing this basically, and I'm going to be pulling it through almost like it's going through a planishing hammer. If you don't have a planishing hammer, here you go. Not real hard. You don't want a bunch of dingers in it. Most of them dingers will grind out. So look, you can be like, what you gonna do with that daggone pretzel? Well, that's a custom made panel, guys, that y'all can make. No problemo. All right, now we hammered on it. We have to put a little bit of tweaky tweak to it. And once you cut this out, you'll have to do a little tweaky tweak too. So here I was bouncing a solid. I'm going to have to roll this up right here just a little. I mean, just a little. Fall off there, I don't care. Just a little hand manipulating. It's just metal, guys. It ain't nothing fancy. Well, that's not too shabby. Probably what I'm gonna do right now, once we figure out this is exactly where we want it, and also we're gonna stay off of this probably about an 1/8 inch because it rolls over here, so we want to cut on the back side of that roll. We don't want to be welding right on this edge, especially as rotten as this junk is. But what y'all think now? How's that look? That thing just sitting there nicely. Try to get all this fit up good before we go eat a bean. And I mean, that's just laying there, guys. Check that out. We're just creeping up on it. Just try to get this thing to lay in there nicely. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come back on the underside here once we get it exactly where we want it. Get it laid up there. Now this is the time you could put some Clecos in it if you wanted to. Basically you just drill an 1/8 inch hole, and they got these little tools that you put down there and it holds it in the same place. You can use drill tip screws, self tapper screws, just run it in there and it puts it in the same place all the time. I'm just gonna do marks on it right now because a lot of you guys ain't got Clecos, and you don't need to go buy them if you're doing this one time. We're gonna get this lined up the way we want it. And we're just gonna draw a pencil mark on it. And that way we can line it up every time. Then I'll probably do a reference mark here. You just draw a mark on here, then go off onto the panel. We'll do it right up here. And that gives you 2 alignment points. If you get that one off, you can see it. If you get that one off, you can see it. So that's what we're gonna do. We can get it same place every time. And I'm probably gonna tape it. A lot of you guys are gonna give me grief over taping stuff. I don't use magnets that much. I'll tell you why here in a minute. You can use magnets, nothing wrong with it. I just don't. So go across that all your alignment points. That looks pretty good. Now I'm gonna go on the bottom of this thing and try to maybe scribe it. I don't know. Let me get this taped. All right, we'll get a little marks lined up there the way they're supposed to be. That looks good. That looks good. All right, guys, what I got here is a scribe. You can get these off Amazon. I'll link them below. They'll be in the description box below. Don't cost you guys any extra. It helps the channel out, and I just make a wee bit on the qualified purchases. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna hold down on this. I'm gonna go underneath here, and it's just gonna ride right along this little piece here. So we're gonna get it close. Just run it down through there like that. All right, now we're gonna take her off and see if it scribe come through good. Yeah, you can see that, can't you? We're gonna take and cut along that. We'll probably cut on the bottom side, leave a little meat. All this is doing is just helping us get a little closer. You just take just a little bit at a time, and that's the way you work it. Just creep up on it. Don't try to do it all at one time. And check that out, guys. Looking pretty good. All right, we're gonna use the good old shears here. These are from Northern Tool, I think. Wiss, W-I-S-S, makes good ones. I'm trying to think of that place that Mike uses. There's a really nice set that you can get. You can pay for what you want on these just like everything else. We're just going to go around that line right there, and just going to stay on the outside. These seem to be pretty good for budget ones. We'll probably have to go back and do a little hammering on here. Yeah, these work really good. Bam, exactly where we had it. Yeah, but these are Northerns. I'll try to find some of these on the old Amazon. I don't know if they sell them on there or not, but I think that's a Northern Tool brand. All right, let's layer her up here again. We'll line our top line up and our bottom line. That way we're within the tolerance. Like I said, with Clecos or drill tip screws or something like that, it'd be easier. Just zip, put them back in. All right, that's what we're starting to look like. Looking a little better, ain't it? So we're gonna make some, we'll do my Sharpie little lines. These right here's about on the top. We can grind that back. This here's a little heavy right there. We gotta get that. We might just leave it taped up, see if I can get in here. All right. Now, looking mucho better. Like I said, we're gonna have to do a little hammering on this. Where I cut it through here, it's flattened it out, so we're gonna come right here and just a little more radius in it. Take a little of this out. I'm gonna take these off for now. We're just getting it close. We get it ready to scribe. I may run a drill tip screw in it to show you how to do that, but so hold that in the middle. Well, I'm gonna put this down here on the brake. Take a little of that out. Ooh, that's looking nice there. Just keep tweaking it. Now, when you get it close enough, that thing pretty much just stays up there. That's pretty good there. Now, put me another piece of tape up here to hold it. Now, I'm sure you've seen people do this stuff a lot faster, but when we get done with this, I want to really not be able to have to put a whole lot of mud in it, and I really want it to look nice. You want everything to look professional, guys. Put all your effort into it. If it's worth doing, it's worth doing right. This was made with no expensive tools. Like I said, you could have used the hand shears. Those actually worked pretty good to cut this out. You didn't need that, but I used it. See how close we are on our radii here. I can tell back there. See that, guys? That was done over the old kneecap there. The less time, you don't want to sit here with a super cold weld trying not to warp it and holding it. It's going spitting and sputtering and all that stuff. Sounds like a two-step on a drag car. You don't want that, because the longer every time that thing hits, it's heating and heating and heating. If you can get in there with a hot weld or fairly hot, you go in there that much, it goes down, it flattens out nice. It don't stack all up, and it penetrates good. You're golden, guys. Trust me on it. We're going to try to preserve all the patina we can. This is the biggest patch we're going to do. I'll see time-wise whether we get this bottom done or not on this video, because I'm kind of crunched for time, as always. But if you can make this big one, this bottom one is no problem. We'll just see what we get to. Anyhow, I think that's good. I'm going to go eat a bean, and we're going to come back. Oh, what was that? You want to know where you can pick up one of these rad Def 4 electric t-shirts, Shakemaster 4000s, and some custom pinstripe sunglasses, and maybe a hat too? I'm glad you asked. Just head on over to www.acdesignsgarage.com and you can be one of the cool kids too. We appreciate it. All right, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get ready for the layout here. I think we're pretty daggone close. What we ain't got, we can probably fudge it around a little bit. So we got it about where we want, so I'm going to do about I'd say a 1 inch. Take the paint off around here, about that far. Let me mark us an area so I know about, so I don't go too far. I don't want to damage our patina too much. But I'm gonna give us a good little area like that. And we'll just pull this off and just clean her up. I got her laid back up here, transferred our little alignment marks up there. Got good clean metal all the way around. And I'm probably gonna move these a little wider because I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna scribe this. I want these long enough. I'm gonna put this here so I know exactly where that corner's at. All right. Now, what you're gonna need to get is the big Sharpie Magnum. This thing is rad. Big old chisel tip. And what we're gonna do is pull this off, and I'm gonna show you how we're gonna scribe it to get the perfect line. So we know where the edge of this is. So we're just gonna come down through there and just kind of split a little bit there. Leave a little bit of that mark so we can line it up. Instead of using like Dykem at a transfer stuff, it kind of gums sandpaper and stuff up. So I saw Carl on Make It Custom using these things, and I was like, man, that's a pretty rad idea. So we'll come down through here about where we're at, darken it up so we can get a good scribe on it. All right, that's why I made my lines extra long right there. See those lined up? I don't know what I'm thinking. Let's go get them like that. And really, this panel will tell you where it wants to be. That looks pretty lined up there. It seems to fit well down in here in the crevasse. So I'm gonna come up here first. And come over here and do a couple little marks. All right, now we're gonna come, put that point right in that corner. By doing this, we're going to know exactly where this panel's at. And we can get the best fit up. I'm going to roll the bottom down like that. And then see, I can take it off and move it around, then I can line it right back up. That way everything gets scribed exactly the same. Get this line over here a little bit better. So I can get this. All right. Pull our patch off and you see what we got. I like to use my little straight edge right here where that tape was at. So this is the line that we don't want to take out. We want to cut right up against. I'm going to put a little point here, point there, point, little point there. We don't want to take this line out. We want to come right up to the line. I mean, like right up to. When we cut this out, we don't want to hit the line. So you got to think. When you're cutting these things out, you got to consider the thickness of the disc. So when you're cutting, you want to be able to, you're going to put the edge of this, your cut side, right up against that line. You don't want to be on the line, because if you go straight down through the line, you're going to take the thickness of the blade out. So we're going to cut on this, on the inside of this whole panel, all the way around. Down through here, all the way around through there. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to explain it because it's going to be loud and you ain't going to be able to hear nothing. I love this benchmark abrasive grind. It's got room for respirator and stuff if you're doing a lot of grinding, but we're just going to be cutting this out. And I'm going to get me some earplugs and gloves real quick, because the wheel of death, they call it that for a reason. So remember, we got, this is double walled here. Just kind of take a mental note of it. This is double walled all the way down through here and right in here. Just be careful. Just cut down a little bit at a time and get to it. You'll probably see me picking this out and try to do that. We'll cut this first. But cut on the inside, guys. Don't cut on the line. You want to creep up to it to where this panel will just fall right in there. because this is why I don't cut it out then make a panel, because it's so much easier to make your panel fit when you scribe off your panel. So. Had to change out disc, guys, real quick. This is what I'm using. The Black Hawk, say 4-inch, 132 by 3/8 arbor. There we go. Alright guys, we already took it out, but I want you to look at the back of that thing. Pitted. Now a lot of people would come in here because that hole don't look that bad. Well, we'll hold it up to the light. See all the little holes in. A lot of people would try to weld those little holes shut. But look at the daggone corrosion and just pitting and just thinner and all get out till it gets that out past that thing there. And I look in here, she nasty. We're gonna have to do some serious cleaning, especially right here. We'll wire wheel this real good, that mating surface. Like I said, we're not going to repair all this, but we will clean it up and try to get that good. So let's see how, by looking at a panel there, it looks pretty much like it. Now let's see how good she fits. Now that's, I'm sure it's going to have some tuning. Clean that. That's what happens, guys. That old sand and dust gets kicked up in there, and if you patch it and you don't get this stuff out and get this treated, like I said, we're gonna wire wheel it, and I might put some of that OSPO or whatever it's called, that treatment stuff on it that just locks it down. I may put some on that. We'll probably head that up tomorrow. It's gonna be a 2-day video probably. Let's check our fit here. Now look at that, guys. It needs just a little tuning. But look at that. No gap whatsoever. That's what you're going to want. And I left just a little fat in there for it. I'll probably get some, yeah, we left a little over here. So it's lapped just a little over here. In places, we'll clean that up. But check that out, guys. That thing's gonna, down here we gotta do a little bit, but now you're gonna have, it's not gonna be perfect. You're gonna have some places, but let me grab something real quick. Now I don't use magnets when it comes to welding. I'm just gonna use this because I can't hold it and the GoPro too. But if you ever, here's a little tech tip from Daddy. If you ever have a microwave go bad, these magnets are in microwaves and they work great. Alright, well, I was up there watching TV and I did a little research. It's been a while since I've used OSPO, but forgot you gotta let it sit for 24 hours before you paint it. So, I'll come down here real quick before it gets too late. We're gonna put a little wire wheel in here and clean this up. I guess that's how you pronounce it. I call it the rust killer. Yeah, I was right. It said just put a thin coat on the area, and that's all we're going to use. I've used this several times. This stuff's pretty cool. We'll come down here tomorrow and that stuff will probably be black. So we'll get my chip core brush. We're just going to leave her sitting down there in the floor so it don't get on everything. Alright, got me some gloves on. Got a little bit of OSPO in there. Said I think it turns it in, don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure it turns it into some kind of iron ore stuff or something. So we cleaned it real good. We're just gonna put this stuff in there. It stinks. Good even coat there. I may pick her up and let some run down in this thing. Run down there inside it. That way it'll protect on in there. Like I said, this thing here is about shot. Yep, she turned pretty black. Supposedly, I guess it turns it to an iron oxide or something. I don't know. It's got some kind of science stuff, but yeah, it's supposed to convert the rust. This area, you get all the chunky monkey stuff off there. And like I said, if we was doing a high-end truck, we would probably just get us a different fender, because you can see all the support's got holes. It's strong enough to hold up for what we're going to do. Like I said, down here at the bottom. But a patina truck, you know, as long as it's not a huge ugly place like this was here, we're just gonna leave it be. I'm probably not even gonna fool with that. If I do, I'll do it later on. All right, it said on the destructions, I'm gonna take this little Scotch-Brite here and just knock any loosey-goosey stuff off here before we put some weld-through primer on it. Get down in there and make sure everything's good and clean. That should work. We'll blow it out. Yeah, I'm gonna go in here and we're gonna tape up our patina up here. That way I don't get weld-through primer on it. We're just gonna soak this good. I'm gonna try to blow up in here. There we go, that looks pretty good. Don't wanna wipe too much, because this is old lacquer paint probably, or enamel or something, and lacquer thinner wipes it off. So, all right, I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna clean all this up with lacquer thinner best I can. We'll blow it out, make sure we ain't got no little thingies in there, but want her clean. That'll be good. Get your lacquer thinner way away from where you're gonna be welding. All right, basically I'm just gonna lay this up under. You can use masking paper, you can throw a piece of cardboard under here, whatever. I got masking paper here, so I'm gonna use it. This is just basically to keep it off of my welding table. But up here where I'm gonna be welding, I don't want weld-through primer if I don't have to have it. So we're gonna cover this up where we're gonna be welding at. Because the top side we can get paint on. The underside or anything lapped you can't. So if you can't get to it to paint it, weld-through prime it. If you can get to it to paint it, you want it bare metal. Because it will still spit and sputter. All right. Drop down in the comments, guys. I really appreciate that. Y'all are very interactive and helping me with stupid hornet, with figuring out what kind of videos y'all want to see and stuff. And if there's anything welding wise, I hadn't done any. This started out actually as a welding channel. A lot of you newer friends to the channel hadn't seen a lot of those. I have a ton of TIG welding and, you know, sheet metal welding and all that stuff in there. But I figured I'd bring some up back. A lot of you guys asked, a lot of you new and hadn't been back through my catalog of over 300 and some videos. All right, guys, what I'm gonna be using, this is just something I got from Napa. There's a copper colored one out there that a lot of guys are using. I think it's SEM that has it. I may try it. I've had this stuff for years. It's settled at the bottom, and this stuff here has got a lot of material in it. I guess it's like galvanized, what is it? Zinc weld-through primer. So I guess it's got zinc in it. Sounds right anyway. Anyhow, I don't want to sit here and shake this stuff for no hour. So take a guess what I'm going to use. That's right. We're going to use the old Shake Master 4000 because I'm lazy and I've got one. We're going to chunk this little monkey up in here, back it off with the convenient little thumb screw. Load her on up. I really like this little one-handed sawzall thing here. This thing works a whole lot better than others do. Now we're gonna crunk this monkey down here. I got it all the way down there yet. We got her too tight already. There we go. All right, now we're locked and loaded. We're gonna hog down on this one pretty good. This thing's pretty heavy. And we're gonna get it a shake. This thing here does about 3,000 shakes a minute. I think you're supposed to shake this for about 5 minutes. There we go. Now we're going to do what everybody just has to do, is your best John Rambo impersonation. She's locked, she's loaded. Cool thing about these one-handed jobs here, they're just so much easier than the corded ones. You can just do this one-handed and it don't shake you all to pieces. I think that shook good enough. So if you guys want to get your hands on one of these super rad weld-through primer shakers, and it does shake, make butter, everything else, got videos on that, make sure you head on over to www.acdesignsgarage.com. That is the only place that you can get them. These are made by me, painted by me, and shipped by me. And thank you again for the support. Make sure you get you a good paint respirator too, because I don't know what's in this stuff. Anything that's atomized like this, you just need to get it. Now we're not gonna, on this piece here, we're not gonna hog down on it. We're gonna put a good even, probably 2 coats on it and let it dry before we start fitting it and all that. But in here, in this little crevasse down in here, we're gonna hog it. I'm gonna spray all up in there, so let's get at it. Boy, she is buttery smooth now. Alright, we're going to untape her here. Got her a little bit protected here anyway. Like I said, there ain't no water going to hold in this thing. She got built-in drain holes. Yeah, see, that just helps. You ain't gotta clean up all that stuff when you go back to start welding and all that mess. I thought about, guys, I don't know, some people dig this type stuff. I don't know. I thought about maybe cutting this patch into some keychains or something and throwing them in with orders or something. Let me know down below if you guys want that. I can cut these up into little small keychains and stuff like that. I don't know. In case you want a part of the build, some people like that kind of stuff. I'm not going to charge you for them or nothing, but I could cut these up into little things. Just let me know below if you do. I'll let you know when we do, and we'll just start throwing them into orders till they're gone. So just let me know. All right, this piece here is good, and it's almost tacked up enough. I just want to see how she fits here. Let's see. So that area over here fits nicely, so we're gonna have to take just a little off right in this area. I'm gonna give me a Sharpay here. I'm probably just gonna go through here about down to about right in here, and probably about right this area here. So we'll go around that corner right there, and then I probably do from about here to about here. We're gonna take just a little off with the little grinder. We'll just ease up on it. If you get a gap, guys, no big deal, but you don't want more gap than you have to have. So we're just gonna do a little bit and check it, and do a little bit and check it. And I'm just using this little roll lock. I think that's 80 grit. It's usually what I use a lot of. Take a little bit of time. All right, guys, I'm gonna address the elephant on the wall here, if you want to call it. Yes, my corners are square, but I will say on this, what I do is I notch back a corner here, but I have my welds hot enough that it's gonna burn that. Everybody's like, there'll be a stress crack. I've never, knock on patinaed metal, I have never had a stress crack ever doing it. Now, I will say, on chassis, when we shorten chassis and stuff, we do not. When I shorten chassis, I'll lay it out and I'll drill a 1/2 inch hole in there and where the corners go and go up and meet it. Stress fracture on a chassis is one thing. Stress fracture on a rusted panel, don't fret it, guys. If you want to do a round corner, do a rounded corner. But I'm going to show you here, we're going to set this welder up where she's getting 100% penetration. And when we burn through this, this is no longer going to be a sharp corner. It's going to be a welded through molted puddle of stuff. So anyhow, I just want to address that because I know some of you guys, this is going to bother you. And if you want to do round corners, there's nothing wrong with it. It could be the perfect way to do it, but I just don't. I do square corners like this on it. Like I said, I 45 the end, so it's got a hole there and it melts all the way through. And there's no longer a square corner there. Anyhow, let's see how this is right here. All right, got that down there, get everything where it needs to be living. I'm gonna take a little off this backside. It's just a little too tight. Like I said, you don't get carried away. You just want just a wee bit of gap. I mean, I'm talking cut. You don't want to get carried away and get too big a gap. We're trying to get away from that. Need to get in there. I lost my pocket knife. Get in here and clean this corner out where that thing will sit down in there nice. Had some debris in there. Okay, that's in there. Alright, we got it down here on this bottom. Actually, I think what I'm going to do on this bottom down here, I'm going to set this where I want. And we're going to run our Sharpay over, and I'm going to scribe this because there's a lot of holes down in here anyway. So it'd be better off to leave the good metal longer than to cut the good metal back to leave the junk metal. Let's do that. All right, let's set this out. I got the big Sharpie Magnum here. And we're just gonna run this right over here real quick. Take the air hose, let her dry. Lay our patch panel back up here. Get her where we want her. We're just gonna and get on this side of y'all so I can. Birds are happy. Y'all guys been having a bunch of rain. Man, it's been raining like crazy here. It was nice and pretty, so I figured I'd open the doors up so y'all could hear the musical rendition of all the birds that we have around here. They're just happy to see the sunshine like me. So what we're gonna do is we're just coming down through the edge of this thing like we did when we laid it out. It's over the top of it there, so. Oh, get on there. And that'll show us what to grind off. All right, if you look right there, there's just a little bit, I mean just a hair bit right there at that gray edge. That's what we're gonna grind off real quick. All right. This is where you spend your time right here, guys, is fitting stuff. That looks pretty good. Almost got carried away, but that looks pretty good. Here's another thing that broke the internet with me. He's using tape. Why are you not using magnets? There ain't nothing wrong with magnets, guys. I like using tape because I'm not relying on this tape or a magnet to keep it exactly level. I use my fingers. You do have to be careful because stuff gets hot. But you can rub your finger across there and tell if something's cattywampus or not. And if you just stick a magnet, it could hold it higher. And another thing that just comes from me TIG welding and stuff is you get a lot of arc wander when you get a magnet near a welder. I don't know why, but even on MIG welds it'll cause it to wander, but with TIG welding it really does. Even though we are MIG welding this, I just like to use tape. It just works good for me. So if you want to try them both, try them both. But tape works. Like I said, and the good thing about tape, it gives me room for adjustment. I can take my fingers and move it up, down. I usually keep me a small flat blade screwdriver around here to manipulate it, move it, but it's just to kind of keep it in place. Like I said, if you want to use a magnet, use a magnet. Because once you get that first tack, none of this tape magnet situation stuff matters. All right, guys, I want to give you a little example. A lot of people don't understand it. A lot of you guys do. I'm just going to give the information as we go. That way, who needs it gets it. Who don't, ignore it. So when you weld thin sheet metal, stuff like that, a lot of people thinks, and I used to think it myself, a lot of people thinks that it stretches it. You get too hot, it stretches it. Actually, it shrinks it. So this is your flat panel here you got. And so if you go in here, let me get you a good angle here. Better angle. All right, here's your piece of sheet metal here. And you put a tack in the middle of this. It does this. Within reason, it draws it up. It shrinks it in the middle. Like that right there. So when you get the hammer and dolly, you can put your dolly on the back, hammer on top, and you hammer that weld back out, it relaxes the metal back out. So that's what it does. That's why you want to just do a little bit, and then on MIG you got to grind the heads off because it's just so hard. TIG welding you can just hammer off. That's why you see a lot of these high-end shops doing the TIG stuff, because it's easier and it's a softer weld. But you just take it, like I said, when you zap that thing, it gets uber hot, uber cold, and it just does that number. And then when you do a couple of them around here, then you get this panel in the middle, which is called an oil can. It goes, if you trap it, you go around like this with welds around a circle. Well, you got all this metal in the middle. There's more metal in the middle than around the outside because all this is shrank. And then you get the little thunk, 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 thunk. You know how it goes. So anyways, that's the reason we're going to have warping probably a little bit behind that. We can't help it because we can't hammer dolly without cutting that brace out. You can do that, but I'm not going to. So remember, go around here, I'll put 3 or 4 tacks. I'll cool it with air. It don't hurt it. It don't crystallize it. You just want to keep that heat down to a minimum. Get it in there hot, full penetration. Let the red go away. You don't want to introduce oxygen or anything into it to put porosity in it. Let the red go away, then cool it to touch. Then you come with your hammer dolly, and then it just spreads it back out. I hope that made sense to y'all. anyway, that's how it works. So if you're wondering why you're getting, if you weld around stuff and you wonder why it goes dong and you can reach behind it and it goes dong, 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 dong like that, it's because it shrank all the way around. You got too much metal in the middle. It's got to go somewhere. So it's going to pop out or pop in. So if you go around hammer and dolly it, you can take that out because it stretches it back out and it pulls the metal from the center of that, lays it back out nicely. So maybe we'll do a video one day on heat shrinking with a torch. Show you how to do that in case you do get an oil can. And yeah, y'all want to see it? Drop down the comments below. All right, demonstration over. Let's get to finishing fitting this thing. I think it's about ready. I guess we're gonna set the welder up. Let me show you what kind of welder I'm using. All right, this is my MIG welder I've had for probably, I've been using for at least, it's been at least almost 2 years, I think. It's the Arc Captain MIG 200. They sent this out to me a long time ago to do a review, just told me to give an honest opinion. So far, guys, I've used this thing almost every day for 2 years, except for Sunday. I don't work on Sundays. But anyway, I've used this thing every day for about 2 years, and it has not given a lick of problems. It will do lift arc TIG, it'll do MIG, it'll do flux core, it'll do stick, and it's very affordable. I will give you a price right off hand, but I can't remember what it is. I have a coupon code down below if you guys want one, or if you've already got a welder, that's fine. I'm just saying, I've run this thing for, like I said, almost 2 years, and I hadn't had any trouble out of it. It'll do a spool gun, it'll do all kinds of stuff, I think. Yeah, it works great. They're supposed to be sending me a MIG 205, so we may be doing a review on it for long. It's the 205 Pro. It does all kind of crazy stuff. But yeah, just want to show you the welder I'm using. She got all kind of digital readouts and all that stuff, and it'll accept the big spools of wire I've got. I run 023 all the time in here. Anything I weld up to like 1/8 inch thick, and that's usually chassis work, 1/8 inch 3/16. I'm gonna use 023. It's best to use the 023 on or 025 on like sheet metal and stuff because it don't take near as much heat to melt the filler. You want to keep your heat down low enough but high enough for penetration, if that makes sense. So like when I weld the Shakemaster 4000s up, I'm at 19.5 on the volts, 7.5 on the amps. I think that's what it is. Anyway, 19.5 volts, 7.5 on the wire feed speed. I'm from the old school, the old millers and stuff, to where you used to have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 0 to 100 on that. I know how to set those up a little better. I'm learning these. So since we're doing 19 gauge, I'm gonna drop it down. We're testing. That's what you do before you start the stuff. You just don't dive in. So we're on 9. I'm gonna go 18.5 and 7.0. And we'll see how that does. I got some little coupons over here, and we're dead butting them up because I want to show some of you guys. Some of you guys get all tore out the frame that you got to leave a gap. I'm gonna dead butt these up, and we're gonna set this machine to where it will get 100% penetration when I'm dead butted up, and then we'll know it's good to go. Get the welding jacket on. Also, guys, if y'all want one of these, I do have a coupon code for them. I only try to share with you stuff that I use, guys. Like this is a Western welder. These are FR, fire retardant, whatever you want to call it. These are real welding shirts. They're really nice. I like them. They got the pearl snaps. They got that snazzy little stepping out on the town look about them. But yeah, I like these. I've been wearing them. I got a couple of them, but I got a discount code if I can help save you guys any money. So I'll just drop that stuff if you want one. If you don't, that's fine. I wear the Wrangler denim shirts too. But ever since I've got these here, I don't have to worry about burning myself. And they're extra long. They got a million colors on these things. Why do you keep falling off? All right, PPE all up. I'm gonna throw my gloves on. We're gonna do a little zap zap. Also, if you notice, you don't hear nothing running. It ain't got one of them annoying fans that runs all the time. It only runs when it needs it. So here we go, little zappy zap, little arcing and a sparking. We'll be ready to go. So I got them butted up. We're gonna do a couple tacks on them just to see how it does. We'll listen to it and adjust accordingly, and then I'll give you my exact settings. I'm running about 20 CFH on the, I run 75-25 argon carbon dioxide mix, and we're at about 20 CFH, cubic feet per hour. It's what I run most of the time because you usually got the door open. If you got the door open and the wind's blowing, you got to do that. Also, guys, give you a little snip every time you do that. So that sounded pretty good there. And look, that was butted up dead together, and that's 100% penetration. And look, it ain't got a real tall stack on it. So I'm gonna do it over top of the crevasse here. You don't have to do this every time, it just makes it arc better. I'm gonna show you real quick how I'm doing it. I get mine to the center right there. I don't do mine straight up down like this. I lean mine over. A lot of times I'll rest the cup on there and just point the wire to it and then just pull it like this right here. You watching? Here we go. And that is all you need, guys. Like a 1-2. You just hold the trigger for like 1.5 2 seconds. Look at that, 100% penetration. Bam, bam, bam. Looks the same, don't it? It's not stacked up real high. You ain't got a whole mess load of stuff to grind off. But look at that. That's it, guys. That's our setting. I'm gonna have to write it down because I didn't have it wrote. 18.5. We'll show you. There we go. 18.5 and 7.0. I think we're about ready to do a little arcing and sparking on this panel, so I'm going to show you slowly on this and then we'll speed up so you don't want to hear me yak. I just want to give y'all all the information that's taken me 20 years of mistakes to figure out and make y'all's life a whole lot simpler. Okay guys, now I'm going to be doing a lot of this barehanded by the time we get this, just trying to get it set up or get our panel set where we want it. Yes, this is drop down, all this stuff. It don't matter at this point. Up here at this corner is where it laps and lays on this. We want this to lay down as good as we can. So we're going to do a lot of our tacking here first. And that way stuff don't move and I can kind of hammer it down as I go. But I'm going to come up here at this very top corner and I'm going to hold it down. May have to do a little pinging on it. All right, that feels good. So I've got this. I can feel that. That feels good. It don't feel like it's stacked up different. So we're gonna come over here. Just be careful. You can do this. Bring your air hose over. Till you can touch it. Now don't you look at that. It's not a big old blobbed up looking thing. It's fairly low. That was just like a little 1-2 tack. It's not stacked up high. And that corner's done. So I'm gonna work my way down here and I'm gonna come down probably about 1 inch. That's what we're gonna do down through here. Everything, we'll move this around a little bit, just check stuff. If you get it too tight and it starts sticking, you can always run your grinder in at an angle. It's no biggie deal. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold down on this one. We may hold up on this end, whatever it takes. If you don't feel comfortable not using gloves, use gloves. I'm gonna aim it away from me like this and drop my hood, and we're gonna get it right there in the middle. Arc and spark. I missed it. I think we got it. Oh, burn on that one. That feels pretty good. All right, we got her tapped down till she feels right. Why I keep missing it. If you notice right here, that just remember that heat affected zone. See how small it is? It just keeps it tight. See up here where we done the one tacker up here, it's still got a real tight heat affected zone, and you can see where I had to do a couple tacks. The ring keeps getting bigger and bigger. Well, you want to keep that like this if you can. I'm just trying to weld around a GoPro. Okay. Feels pretty good. That's a good one. I will say, guys, don't get in a hurry on this. if you get in a hurry, you're gonna get all warpies and everything. Just don't get in a hurry on it. Why don't you want to go to your home? What I do a lot of times is you can take the nozzle here and kind of push down on it with it, line it up. Here we go. There we go. Mucho better. Look at that heat effect is on nothing. Alright, all this down here is pretty good. We'll just do a couple little pecking here. Man, that's a nice one there. Alright, here we go again. Line her up, push down with. So what I'm doing with my nozzle, the same way I did a while ago, I'll take it, put on there, and take your thumb and just kind of pinch and pull down, and that'll level it up. Arkansas bark. Little 1-2 tack. Alright, these down here is getting pretty good. See, if you push down on this, you're not burning your fingers either. Arkansas bark! Alright, we're going to get down into crevasse down here. That one feels pretty good. Now right here, I don't know if you guys can see it, but right here it's a little high in this area here, and it's flush here. So here's the little trick. We're going to do a little arc and spark here on this corner, come back and peck it down, then put it there. Just use the weld, just think of the welds as a clamp. Like I said, this is not deep enough down in there, so we're going to arc and spark here, peck it down, tack it, good as gold. The rest of this down here is pretty good. So here we go. I will say on some of these areas like down here where it's, we're going to have to go over it, that rust. You got to do like a one second tack air, because you'll just have to work it into it. You can see that big porosity hole. It's just where it's rotten metal, guys. All right, now we're going to come right in here where we was at. Keep from moving. Get it down level with that like it is. That's good. Now I'm not gonna spend 4 hours welding around this thing. I wanna walk you around getting this thing good and level and everything where it's supposed to be, and then we'll just speed it up when I go around, and I'll show you little tips and tricks here and there. But alright, Mr. GoPro decided to cut off and get hot and all that stuff. I ain't stopped working, I'm hot, but anyways. Yeah, guys, this looks pretty daggone good. Feels pretty good. Tape. So we're gonna put this right up on the bottom of it, and we're just gonna, you don't want to hit them at an angle. You want to just basically, you can even hold it like this and just do that. You ain't got a whale on it. So I'm right now, my dolly's sitting right here. And what I do is it hits, I let it bounce, let the dolly bounce off the back just a little. You don't need a whole lot. I should be falling off my makeshift stand here. That's the furthest I can get in with it. And that lines everything up perfectly. As far as I can go. So I'm gonna probably speed this up in sections. So let me go around a few places on speed or on time, whatever you want to call it, and show you how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna start over here just like we did and go one direction. And if you noticed, it didn't get all wonky. Mike taught me that. Mike Wagner at Cornfield is just tack around here and just work it to it. Don't tack. It just goes all weird. If you notice right there, we started over here and worked our way around it. It done fine. So anyhow, I got our air gun ready. I need a 4 here. Sorry, Dale. We're just gonna eyeball it. Yeah. Picked up porosity. I'm still in the same one. As you're welding, a lot of people don't teach this, but keep a watch on your heat affected zone, that little ring on the outside. If it starts getting too big and out here, slow down and cool it. You're going too fast. You ever get in a hurry? I don't think she's looking too bad. Look how tight the heat affected zone is up through here. It's pretty good and consistent. Down here I got in a little hurry. You can see how big it bumped out right there. Just slow down. You start seeing that, start slowing down, because you want to keep it tight. This ain't warped. This don't have any weird bumpies in it. Now this down through here is going to be the worst part where this rust was. You're going to get porosity and you're just going to have to grind it out and just redo it. But yeah, I'm just going to keep going around as we go and finish up. We'll be back to grinding after that. But do this, not knocking that thing off. You can see it's not really built up real high, and I'm looking down there at my jack stand and we're about to have a bad day. There we go. That would have been bad. Alright guys, well that's all welded up. There may be some pinholes in here. We may have to go back there. We're gonna grind it real quick, but this took, after I sped it up, it took about 15 minutes to weld it. But I'm gonna tell you, there's no major. There's always a little bit right in here, and I don't know if we can hit her with DA and call her dead. Alrighty guys, look at that. Sure enough, shoo-wee, look at that. Slickered snot. Bare metal. Like I said, it's gonna take a little wipe, could take a little hammering right there in that corner, but I mean, can't complain too much about that, guys. I may flip this over, let you look at it on the ground. Let's try that. All right, the last one I done about 2 years ago. It's over 1 million views now, but everybody's like, what'd you do about the back? Well, I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do about the back. But look at this, guys. 100% penetration, not stacked up high. I mean, that's crazy how flat that is. You really don't even have to grind this, but I'm going to show you how easy it grinds because it's fit up right and the settings are right. All out. I mean, that's MIG welded, guys, and it looks good. You can't ask for much better than that. 1/16. But you can see it's just a tick low down the middle. Yeah, I'm getting over on that. Just watch the light. Yeah, it's not quite a 1/16, maybe up there in the middle. We could maybe hammer this up just a skosh more, but you can see how it, see up there on the painted part, how it's about a 1/16. The camera throws it off. It's only like a 1/16 low. Right there's the lowest part. You can almost get to that, but that's behind that brace. But anywho's, I ain't gonna try to hide it. I will say a lot of people are bad about when they're doing this stuff on here, and there's nothing wrong with it because you're gonna mud it anyway. But if you grind something with 36 grit, it don't show. That thing could be off a 1/2 inch and you not even see it. Now you start getting them down to DA, this is the neck of truth right here. This shows everything. And I'm pretty proud of that, guys. And if you guys can do this, you should be proud of yourself too. Like I said, we're gonna drop all the links for the welder like we used. My settings are 18.5 volts, 7.0 on the wire feed speed, 20 CFH, make sure it's turned off, don't want to lose no gas, 20 CFH on the gas, 7525, 023 wire, from that to that. And remember, be kind to one another. Jesus loves you, so do we. God bless. We gone.